Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon again. Thank you. I can see responses from Zipporah, Elvis, Abdisalam, Moses. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is the day 2 of the online synchronous closure that we shared should be starting today at 2 p.m. and we want to appreciate you for joining in a good time and being able to wait for the first 10 minutes, even as you did the reflection. Be appreciated. The President, are you here, Musa? You can say hi as we begin with the review of unit number 6. Musa? Good. Welfare, on behalf of the rest, you can say hi. Zipporah? Please unmute and say hi. Good. We are
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon to you.
Welcome to this meeting. We look forward to have an insightful meeting like the one that we had yesterday. If it's okay with you, allow me to pray.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Dear Lord, we come before you this afternoon. We thank you so much for this meeting. Thank you for each and every person that has joined this meeting, and thank you for the fact that we trust and believe that it's going to be a successful meeting. Guide us, be with us. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Thank you very much, Zipporah,
Welcome.
for taking us through that session. As per our program, we indicated that we'll be having a reflection on day 1 from 2 to 2:15. Then we'll be having the review of Unit 6 from 2:15 to 3:45. And then we'll have a health break for 15 minutes. And then we come back at 4 p.m. for a review and support on the reflective journal and also a presentation on the most significant change form. And then we will be having our closing speeches between 4:30 and 5:30. Just to inform us is that we will be closing from 4:30 to 5:30, and we'll be joined together with the CDEs from the 4 counties that are undertaking their training today. That is the Team Kilifi, Team Garissa, Team Kericho, and Team Nakuru will be in one forum, all of us, even as we do the closure. And we'll also be addressed by 2 important speakers. One is the CEO for Kemi, and 2 is the lead person from VVOB, Madam Clara. I hope you have met her before. So they'll be able to address us, and it will be a pleasure to have them amidst us. So in our room today, as I begin the next minute, please, we have with us Elvis. Is still there? You can wave Elvis to the class. Please, you can wave back to him. And also with us is Noam. Please, you can wave, or you can say hi.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you. And finally, we have Madam Clara with us in the room. You can say hi or wave. She has waved already. Thank you. Thank you very much. So she'll be addressing us as we close our session today later at 4:30 p.m. as earlier indicated. So yesterday, we looked at the review of 2 units. So one was the effective resource management, and the second one was on the learner and staff welfare. Hussein, your hands are raised up. And I think in the reflections on day 1, I've seen a few comments shared here. and it is just amazing to see you people share your reflections on that. I can see somebody saying that they learned on how to organize the school events, clubs, and activities. Some learned on how they can encourage community partnership. Some learned on how they can engage with peers who share similar interests, and many more. So today, in the next a few minutes, about 1.5 hours, we'll be looking at the review of unit number 6. Who can remind us of this unit, please, in the chat box? Which unit is this? Unit number 6. Thank you. Thank you. Allow me to share the screen. Thank you. Who can remind us, please, in the chat box, what unit is unit number 6? What is the name of unit number 6? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So the unit we are reviewing now, somebody has mentioned data management. Thank you. Somebody has mentioned other, maybe something else. Let me see in the chat box. Thank you. Samson has said institutional governance. Thank you, Francis. Thank you very much. So in the next 1.5 hours, we'll be looking at the review of unit number 6, which is talking about what we call institutional governance. And we'll begin by introducing it. And then we look at the legal and policy framework, and then the functions of the JS committee. And also we look at what we call the IBQA. And finally, what we call the extended learning activities. So you have been learning over the past few weeks. And I know by now you must have learned and noted a few notes on this unit here. And when you talk about the issue of institutional governance, then we are basically looking at how do you run the affairs of your schools? How do you run the affairs of your schools in order to enable you attain or achieve the learning outcomes and also achieve the institutional goals? So in this unit, we must have learned something about what are some of the laws, some of the policy regulations that governs the running and the management of the junior schools. What are the roles of the school leaders in terms of the management and the running of the junior schools with the main objective of achieving the institutional goals? And we are looking at what are some of the possible institutional-based quality assurance maybe mechanisms that you can put in place to enable the school achieve its objectives. And so as you perform your duties, remember that based on the introduction of the new curriculum, that is the CBC, and also based on the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party, junior schools are managed by what we call the Junior School Management Committee, which of course we are aware that this basically is a subcommittee of the primary school BOM that domiciles the junior school. And why is it so? It is so because the legal framework that is existing as at the time the CBC was introduced does not support the running of the schools here. And so it is only feasible to run the schools through a committee of the BOM, which is established under the Basic Education Act of 2013, which gives the BOM the mandate to run the schools on behalf of the government. So allow us go to what we call the legal and policy framework or provisions that governs the running of these junior schools. Please allow me ask you this question. What are some of the laws, policies that governs the management and the running of junior schools that you are aware of? What are some of the legal and policy frameworks that governs the running of the junior schools that you are representing here in this meeting? Thank you. Thank you. I can see them come in the chat box. Please, you can put that in the chat. We have number one is what we call the Constitution of Kenya. In the meantime, you have been, we have shared a link there with you, so you can also be able to put your answers using Slido. So we have got the Constitution of Kenya. We have got the Basic Education Act of 2013. That is shared by Simon Karani. Thank you very much. What are some of the laws and policies that govern the running and the management of the junior schools? Thank you. So we have got the Constitution of Kenya. Somebody has mentioned also the Basic Education Act. Thank you. There is also a policy on the 100% transition. We have got the Children's Act as per Ismail Omar. Abel Barasa has talked about the Public Audit Act. Child Protection Act. Thank you. Thank you. Please, let's continue sharing. The TSC Act. We have got the Presidential Working Party on Education recommendations. We have got the National Education Act, the Code of Conduct for Teachers, the TSC Act repeated by Ismail Omar. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Any other, please? Health and safety regulations. Thank you, James, for that. KICD Act. Thank you, Hamdi. You have been asked to answer, please, through the link above. Just check the link shared by the ICT. So please, we'll be able to review that and go through some of the legal documents that we are using as school leaders, even as we perform our duties of running our institutions. Please use the link provided. Madam Hussein, please. I can allow you to talk, please. Madam Hussein, please, you can unmute so that we can hear your comment. Go ahead. Thank you. Let's continue, please. So we have got so many policies, we have got so many laws that governs the management and also the implementation of junior school in our country. And some of them are local laws and regulations, whereas others are international. And I would wish that in the next few minutes, we just discuss with you how or what does the Constitution say concerning the implementation of the junior school education. What does the Constitution say concerning the running of the junior school in our country? Who can help us, please? You can raise up your hand, and then somebody can help us with the Basic Education Act, and then we can be able to move to the next part of it. But of course, even as we do that, it is important to note that the main aim of this legal and policy frameworks is basically to enable us work within the confines of the law. We need to know what the law says in terms of the implementation of the basic education in the country. Any hand raised, please. What does the Constitution say in relation to the implementation of junior schools in our country? Any hands raised, please? Thank you, thank you. I can see many chats, many comments in the chat box. Who can help us understand what the Constitution says? Go ahead, please. Unmute.
Yes.
James Ndonye, please. Go ahead. We can't hear you.
One is yes. Yes.
Go ahead. We can't hear you well.
Right.
Thank you. James, we can't hear you. Maybe just go ahead and unmute yourself again, please. So anyone else, please? Hussein Adam, please, the last one. Maybe our time is moving. Hussein, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We can hear you.
I'm thinking about the Constitution of Kenya. We have the Bill of Rights, which includes the children's rights. Yeah, I think yeah, that is what comes to my mind when I think about the Constitution and the JSS, because JSS involves children, and the Constitution has the Children's Act, the Bill of Rights. So the children's right is included in there. So I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think he has made it very clear that the Constitution makes provision that every child has the right to what we call a free and compulsory basic education. And therefore, junior school being part of the basic education, we need to ensure that every child that comes to our school receives the free education that is guaranteed to them by the Constitution. Jacob Masika, go ahead. Mutunga. Thank you. Let's continue. So what we are saying in short is that all these legal provisions and policy frameworks basically talks about the enhancement of access and also retention and also what we call completion of students when they come to school. Can all our learners, all the children in this country access education? They talk about how do we provide a safe and probably a protective learning environment. For example, if you look at the Kenya School Health Policy Guidelines of 2018, it talks about what are the requirements before any school is registered. What are some of the requirements in terms of the provision of sanitary conveniences, in terms of provision of maybe for the people who probably are living with disabilities? What are some of the provisions in regard to this? So that we need to ensure that even as we offer the school meals program, it should ensure that it is a balanced diet that will promote the well-being of every learner in the school. We are looking at how can we nurture every learner's potential that is now the goal of CBC. We are nurturing every learner's potential. So most of these policies and probably the laws we are talking about here talks about nurturing every learner's potential by giving them an opportunity to learn and be able to showcase their potentials in various areas. We are looking at provision of probably inclusive education. That is an education that includes everyone. That is, no one is left behind. So all these laws and policies that you have learned about, please let them apply to your schools as you run the junior schools. Talk of the maybe the Basic Education Act. You know, this is an act of parliament that basically makes the section 53 of the Kenyan Constitution, that is the part of what? Free and compulsory education to every child in the country. It talks about how schools need to be registered, how they need to be governed, and how they need to be managed in terms of infrastructure, in terms of maybe admissions, in terms of progression. So what we are saying is that the basic education basically makes the Constitution be operational by making provision to the manner in which every basic education needs to be run. And of course, through the same act, it establishes what we call the boards of management as the body that is mandated by the law to manage the institutions of basic education in a way that conforms with the law. We are talking about junior schools today. Most of you, I know, you even have employees. What are the legal maybe implications or requirements for these employees here? So you refer now to what we call the Employment Act, which makes provision on how the employer and the employee needs to relate. It provides for the relationship between the employer and the employee, because now as a board of management, probably, or as junior school committee, you have the powers to employ various staff based on your needs. So as you employ them, you need to refer to what we call the Employment Act. That is, what are the rights of the employees? What are the rights of the employer? Now the BOM here. And what are some of the ways in which you can relate in a way that is consistent with the law? Just recently, I think on Thursday or Friday, there was a ruling, I think so, on even the use of maybe school buses, for example, because you look at school buses, some of you have school buses here. It was concerning school buses carrying maybe the community for an activity. In the process, the school bus got an accident, and the insurance company failed to pay the passengers in the vehicle, basically because the insurance policy for the school bus is meant to take care of the students only. And so as school leaders, we need to be aware of what are the legal provisions in terms of the usage of every school facility as we run our institutions. Any question, please? Any question, please? Thank you. We also have the People with Disability Act of 2003, which basically provides for a barrier-free basic institutions. We are talking about the TSC Act, which basically makes reference to the body called the Teacher Service Commission, which has the mandate to, one is to basically register and also employ teachers. As you are aware, is that every person that is interacting with learners in the school needs to be a trained and registered teachers with a TSC number. So we are talking about the TSC Act. The KICD Act, that is the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, which is basically meant to develop and review curriculum in the country. We have got the next act, which basically looks at the issues of the manner in which probably exams needs to be conducted, among many more laws and policies that governs the management of our junior schools. Any question, please, and any comment at that juncture? You can put that in the chat box. I can see Abdisalam, junior schools to be domiciled in primary schools. Very good, thank you. James Ndonye, Constitution also talks about equality and non-discrimination. Thank you very much for adding that. Then Abdi is talking about JS to domicile in primary school. Thank you. And we are asked to write our comments and questions in the chat box. I'm able to review them even as we continue. Thank you very much. At that juncture then, allow us continue. Remember, I've just mentioned the Basic Education Act, which basically establishes what we call the boards of management for both primary and even secondary education. But now in our case here, we are looking at primary education. And when you are going through the course on your own, you noted that the BOM is a body corporate. That is an institution that is recognized by the law to the extent that it can sue and can also be sued in the court of law. It can own property. It can also enter into contracts under its own name. However, I mentioned earlier that the junior school was birthed the other day after the Basic Education Act had been passed. And so the question is, how can the junior school be managed within the confines of the law? And that is why the junior school committees were established, so that it can be serving as the body managing the junior schools, but under the primary schools BOM. So please remember that the resolutions, the agreements in a junior school committee meeting must be taken to the full BOM for number one, approval, ratification, so that it can now be something that can be used as a legal tool. So please, in the second activity, I want us to go to our groups, probably. And sorry, yes, sorry, we're looking at maybe wherever you are, just chat us. What are the functions that the junior school committee is performing? In your Zoom chat box, identify the functions of junior school management committee. And of course, as we do that also, I would also wish to know probably what is the composition. Maybe one of us can just unmute and share with us what is the composition of the junior school management committee, even as we begin chatting on the chat box on the various functions of the junior school committee. Who wants to share with us how his or her junior school committee is constituted? Who wants to help us? Just a volunteer. Thank you. I'm waiting for us. A volunteer, please. What are the functions of the junior school management committee? And as we do that, I'm asking for a volunteer to tell us, how do they have first the committee? How was it constituted? And who are the members of that committee? We want to hear you talk to us, please. Anyone? James Ndonye, please go ahead. James, can you unmute?
Okay. One is head teacher.
Please be loud enough.
The head teacher.
Yes.
We have the parents.
Yes.
We have people from the community.
maybe that's okay. Siat, you gonna help him, please. Siat, please. Help him finish the list. Ahmed, Siat.
Yes, we have the school chairman, the chairman. We have the special group representative, people with disability. We have the teachers representative. We have the issue of gender. A female should be also there. So they are around 9 members or 7 to 9 members.
Thank you very much, Siat. Siat,
Yes.
can you still hear me? Maybe to ask you a question, maybe. Now, who chairs this committee?
The secretary is the head teacher, and then we have the chairman. The school, the chairman is the person who is going to chair the meetings.
Which chairman is this?
The BOM chairman, that the junior side chairman. The junior school board of management meeting. I mean, the chair.
Just to hear from you, Father Siat, just to get an understanding from you.
Yes.
You have the primary school BOM, is that right?
Yes.
Then you also have the junior school committee from the primary school BOM, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Madeleine, what did you want to say? Madeleine, please, the last one. The last one, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. So please, back to our Zoom chat box, please. We were just sharing on some of the roles that the junior school committee needs to carry out. And I can see one of the answers given by Abdi is the committee should comprise of parents and local leaders. That's okay. Facilitates accountability, very good, Abel. We have got Fatuma talking about governance and policy making, financial management. Fatuma, is this really from you? Or you did it, got it from somewhere? Thank you very much. We have got Jacob Masika. We are looking at financial management, ensuring the welfare and safety of the students. That is Hassan Abdi. They participate in the recruitment of the school staff. And we have got resource mobilization. We have got budget management, academic performance monitoring. Thank you. Is someone talking? Thank you. Thank you very much. So, in other words, we are saying that there are many roles that the junior school management committee plays in the running of our junior schools across the country. And the ones you've listed here are very correct. For example, somebody has mentioned something concerning the provision of adequate and appropriate infrastructure, or in other words, the physical facilities. The junior school management committee has the duty to ensure that there is proper and adequate provision of physical facilities. And here we are talking about things like the classrooms. Do we have sufficient classrooms? Are they of the right size as guided by the various policies from the Ministry of Education? So we are looking at the provision of adequate and proper infrastructure and physical facilities in school. Number two, you mentioned the promotion of the best interest of our schools. Promoting the best interest of our schools and also ensuring that the schools develop or grows. How can the BOM promote the best interest of the schools? Remember that what's happening in the school is for the sake of the Kenyan child. And therefore, the best interest of the school here, we are looking at the best interest of the Kenyan child. How can we promote the interest of the Kenyan child? Of course, like we said earlier, you refer first from the legal provisions here. Number one, ensuring that there is access to education which is quality to all the learners attending in this school here. Number three, we are looking at the provision of the welfare and also the observance of the human rights. As a BOM or as a committee of the junior school, we need to ensure that we promote the welfare of every learner. And of course, we have mentioned some before, including maybe provision of school meals, which are balanced, promoting financial wellness, promoting physical wellness, promoting mental wellness, promoting probably the social wellness in our schools. So we're looking at how can the BOMs here or the committee here promote the wellness of the learners. And somebody has mentioned somewhere up, I think, with regards to the academic performance here. Remember, you have an academic committee, and you also look at the academic report from time to time. So we need to look at and also prepare what we call a timely, comprehensive report on how the school is performing in terms of the implementation of the curriculum and the promotion of the welfare of every learner in our school. We are looking at the management of the school affairs. And of course, this must be in line with the rules and regulations that govern the affairs of an institution. We are talking about Abdi's thinking has been compromised by AI. Oh, I can see, I think up there, somebody must have pasted the answers from AI, and we noted that earlier. Taking part in budget preparation, please. That is approval of the budget, that's okay. They ensure that the finances are managed prudently. They recruit the BM teachers, thank you. They participate in the discipline of staff, and most particularly, we are looking at the support staff, the staff that they have employed, because in terms of the HR management, they recruit, then they train, they ensure that they also do discipline them. So that is part of their role, among many that are still yet to come, solving disputes whenever there is any. So all those refers to some of the roles that are played by the BOMs in the running of our schools. Thank you very much for that. Maybe even as we move ahead, I want somebody just to give us a practical example of how they conduct their affairs in their JS committee meetings. How do you conduct your affairs? Someone in our class here, please. How does it start and how does it end? Please, we want to hear from you. Already you have been constituted officially from the BOM of the primary school. How do you go ahead conducting your affairs? How many times do you meet, for example, in any given period of maybe a year? Any hand raised, please? Any hand raised? The conduct of affairs of the junior school management committee. Hamdi is saying twice in a term. Thank you. I want someone to speak to us, please. Just raise up your hand first, and then you unmute and then share with us your experience in terms of how you run the affairs in your school. Remember, we are reviewing this one. You already have learned all this content. Oh, Simon Karani, thank you very much. Go ahead, please. Simon Karani, please go ahead. Simon Karani. Anyone else, please?
Okay, thank you. You had muted me, so I could not be able to speak.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead now. Tell me how you do your affairs as a JS committee.
Okay, now in our school, what I see, For example, when you have an AGM, the AGM will be conducted for both the JSS and the primary side, or both the JSS and the primary side. But it comes a time whereby we only meet if we have to meet our parents for the JSS side, so that we can tell them what is being required in school for their learners. Also, the committee that is formed in our school, we have the JSS side and also we have the primary side. But above all, this one who is the overall, who stand in charge of all the school from the JSS side to the primary side. So most of the activities, there are those which are done separately, like the JSS side and the primary side. But it comes a time when you have an AGM whereby all the two sides are involved. That's according to what is done in our school.
Karani, don't mute, please. Remain there. Can I ask you a question?
Okay, no problem.
One, how many times do you meet in a year? What is the frequency of your meetings?
Okay, it depends with the agency.
Mm-hmm.
Or it depends with what is happening in school, because there are so many activities that might happen. So I can't say we meet two or thrice. Sometimes it can go up to 4 times. Sometimes we meet 2 per year. Sometimes 3 times. So it depends on the agency.
Good, thank you. We continue, please. Now,
for example, like currently there's a grade 9 being constructed in school. So there was a BOM meeting that was to be done, so that this grade 9 was to be, so that it can be constructed easily. So you can't say that we meet thrice or 3 or 4 times per year. It just depends on the need of them in school.
Number 2, who calls for the meetings?
Okay, most of the time it's the head of institution, in arrangement with the board of management, who communicates, and then they make an arrangement, then they communicate via SMSs to all those other members so that they can come to school.
Good, thank you. Who prepares the agenda for the meeting?
The agenda for the meeting is the head of institution, with the respect to the board of management, the one who come up and discuss what they'll be discussing on that meeting before the due day.
Thank you very much. Lastly, once you have met and you have made resolutions, do you take your minutes to the full BOM for discussion and ratification?
Okay, sometimes it depends, sometimes, okay, let me speak on my side. Yes. Sometimes there can be a decision that can be made, and then after that decision has been made, before it is being implemented, there's a consultative meeting between the teachers and about what is supposed to be done. And then we can also weigh with our fellow colleagues, now that we come from different communities. There are some parts that we are not much into it, but at least we are being included in everything that is being partaken in school. So any decision that is made, you have to be consulted before we way forward is being done. If there's an issue also, there's more consultation that takes place.
Yeah, why I'm engaging is because, the course is called Effective School Leadership for Junior Schools. Is that right?
Yeah,
and
sure.
We want to ensure that we have an effectively managed institution, junior schools in our country. And you have put it right that number 1 is that before any meeting is conducted, you need to do what? To prepare the agenda in consultation with the chairman of the junior school committee. Is that right? And then you communicate it in writing to to the committee members.
Yeah.
And remember, in this unit here, we must have covered that number 1, there must be at least 2 standing agenda. Which ones are those, Simon? 1 is financial management, and 2 is what? The academic progress report. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Are we together? And
yes.
I've also said in the first section that the junior school management committee is not independent. They depend on on the full BOM, because it is the BOM which is a corporate body that can be sued. Are we together?
Yeah.
So what we are saying is that in all circumstances and in all times, whenever the junior school committee meets, it needs to prepare minutes and take it to to the full board for approval and ratification. Are we together? That is when you can implement the decisions of the junior school management committee. Otherwise, you can be challenged because there is no law that establishes the junior school management committee. Are we together? It is basically based on the Basic Education Act that establishes what we call the BOM of the primary school. And so, in all your deliberation and solution, please take it to the full BOM for discussion and ratification and maybe approval as well, please, so that you operate within the law. Simon, are we together? And everyone here, can I see through the chat box? Manyara, please, lastly, talk to the last person. Manyara? Athmani, Manyara, the last one, please, then we move on to the next section.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon to you. Go
Hello.
ahead.
Okay, I'm very grateful to Allah for giving us this chance to meet together and discuss as we proceed on. I was looking at what that is supposed to be done. First, we have the head teacher, who is the chairman of the meetings. Although the secretary of the BOM should be the deputy head teacher. And we have the big board, the BOM, and this committee is the ad hoc committee, which is made up of 7 members. So in case of a meeting or deliberation, first it is stipulated that the head teacher, through the secretary, is supposed to inform the members in a duration of 14 days. As we know that members who absent themselves for 3 consecutive meetings are taken as having not being members of the BOM. So at least they must be given a grace period of 14 days, notifying them of the meeting that is to be there. Likewise, when being given notification, the agendas have to be underlined. For instance, right now we have just opened the schools. Before the opening of the school, the BOM are supposed to meet and discuss on the finance, the budgeting, beforehand, even before the money is put into their accounts, so that they deliberate. And when they do their deliberation, they must get approval from the big board and rectification, as you have said. And after doing that, during the meeting, they are supposed also to look at matters arising, first reading and confirmation of the previous minutes, and then matters arising from the minutes. Then they deliberate on the issues, and they will say, the 2 agendas have to be there: the management, financial, and academic part of it. So during this time, members deliberate, and after they have made their minutes, they hand over to the head teacher, submits them for approval to the big board, which sits down, discuss item after item, and then approve or disapprove or rectify the agendas which have been brought onto the table. After the approval, that's not the end on what to do. They are supposed to get approval from the sub-county and the county director. So they write an approval letter to the sub-county director, to the county director through the sub-county director, and which are supposed to be create files. Then after the approval, that's when now it's brought back to the ad hoc committee, which now sits down and deliberate. For example, if it's the construction, now here they have to do the preliminaries. They have to do the tender to advertise, do the tendering, and they follow all the procurement procedures. Yeah, and then after that, that's when now they can sit down and do the necessary until the last. So, and after that, that's not the end. The approval also has to be taken back on the expenditure, likewise to the same personnel. I
Yeah,
think
thank you.
that's what I want to put up, sir.
Thank you very much. I think that's okay. We need to move on. But before then, Mr. Choge is here with us. He wants to make a comment, of course. Mr. Choge? Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Dr. for giving me that chance to mention something. Thank you, Manyara, for your input and your comments. And there is one thing that I just want to mention when it comes to the chair of the committee, that is the committee that is actually formed from the full board. Remember, the chair is a member of the committee. The secretary is the head teacher. Actually, the deputy head teacher is not a member of that committee, but in an event where the head teacher is clarifying some issues and he wants he can actually appoint or can actually invite the deputy to be the secretary. Otherwise, the deputy is not a member of the committee. He is not the member of the committee, but he can be invited because one, when you are mentoring him also to become a leader, or number two, when the head teacher is responding to issues and especially concerning with the finances, and but you need also to guide him or her that in whatever that is being discussed in the board or in that committee, then the information should not be diverted to any other person, should not be, the information that is, you see, that secrecy must be there, that we should not share the information that was in anything that was discussed in the board. So I think that is what I just wanted to correct, that the deputy is not the secretary, but the deputy is actually the secretary in the C committee.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Sorry, sir.
Yes,
You have
Manyara.
said the deputy comes in the SIC committee.
C committee.
Okay, not the hardcore committee.
No, the main committee, the deputy is actually invited us to assist the head teacher, but he's not a member.
Thank you very
sir,
much.
Okay, because I know the chair of the big board, the chair of the hardcore committee, the treasurer, and the head teacher who are supposed to be the signatory as well. Is it not so?
It is okay for the signatories. It's fine. The mandatory signatory is the head teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So the head teacher is the mandatory signatory for the JS and at the same time for primary section.
Okay, thank
and
you,
there's
sir.
something also that we need to note. We need to note that the chair in the whole board is not the chair in the JS committee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Various breakout rooms, and you are looking at some 3 questions on the 5 thematic areas of IBQA. Allow me to invite group 1. I think we can take 2 minutes each, please. Just state the points rather than taking time to explain. Thank you. Group 1, please, 2 minutes.
Thank you. For our group members, we were given the task to come up with the role of the BOM on leadership and management, and we came up with some few points. Number 1, we have came up with oversight, management oversight, and management of and leadership in the institution, policy formulation and implementation, ensure resource allocation, mobilization and utilization, stakeholders engagement, decision making and advisory, staff management, compliance and accountability, maintain school ethics, discipline, management of school funds, resolving disputes and crisis, health and safety management. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we were looking at the question on what is the role of the school leadership, that is in terms of implementing IBQA in terms of now the leadership and management. I think the areas of focus, like as mentioned, includes those ones plus the ones I'm mentioning here. For example, you need to look at whether your schools are registered, whether you have a motto, you have a vision, you have core values, You need to have a strategic plan. You need to ensure that your teaching staff as well are also involved in the decision making, among others. So please, you'll get time and look at how can you be involved in terms of the IBQA. But you did take us through the example, maybe brief example, group one. Provide relevant example, please. Just one only. All right, then let's go to group two. You are looking at the second component, which is basically the one on curriculum, organization and implementation. Please take us through that. Group two, over to you.
Okay, group two. We have come up with around 6 points on the same. So how they said identify the key focus areas for one IBQ component on curriculum, organization, and implementation. So the first point that we came up with was alignment, aligning those curriculum with the one that is the national one, the national curriculum. Here, you ensure that the school's curriculum is aligned with national standards and the prescribed curriculum framework, such as the competence-based curriculum, that is the CPC that we have today in Kenya. The second point was about the teaching and learning methods. On the same, around that, you evaluate the effectiveness of the teaching methods used by educators, including the use of learner-centered approaches, active learning, and also the integration of the technology in teaching. The third point was teacher competence and professional development. And here is the training, or you review the qualification of the qualification skills and ongoing professional development of teachers to ensure they are equipped to deliver the curriculum effectively. The next point was appropriate teaching materials. So we provide materials that are appropriate to ensure that the curriculum is implemented effectively. Then the following, the next point was the assessment. And under the assessment, we have the curriculum must be having summative and formative assessment that are aligned to the national goals. The next point is have a regular review and update. And under this, we realize that assess the processes in place for the regular review and updating the curriculum to reflect the changes in education policy, societal needs, and emerging trends. And then the last point, the last point was inclusivity and differentiation. Here, ensuring that the curriculum delivery addresses the diverse needs of all learners, including those with special education needs, by implementing differentiated instruction and inclusive practices. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you, team. We can appreciate group one and group two, please, in the chat box. Tafadhali, they have done as well. And you can see from your screens some of the key focus areas. And they have put it so clear, beginning with the aligning it with the national curriculum, the monitoring of the teaching methods, and three, we are looking at the pedagogies should be ones that meet the needs of every learner in the school. Is mentioned the assessments, the regular reviews and update, and also inclusivity in terms of curriculum implementation. Thank you very much, group two. Group three, please, over to you. Physical facilities and infrastructure, the third theme. Group three, take us through that.
Okay, for group 3, I think we looked at this question, identify the key focus areas on curriculum, organization, and implementation. And we discussed the following points. Number 1, the level of learners. And we said that the curriculum should be split into smaller substrands that to make it easy for the learners to understand better. Number 2, we looked at the learning resources, and we said that the learning resources should be at the level of the learners. Number 3, we looked at the availability of the resources, and there we said that we should use the resources that are locally available. And we also said that we should encourage our learners to improvise the resources to be used during teaching and learning. And number 4, we said that the safety of the resources. The resources used should be safe. They should not hurt or cause injuries to the learners. Number 5, we looked at time. We said that the syllabus should be well split to cover the whole term. Number 6, the last point, the learning objectives. We said that the objectives should be achieved within the stipulated time. When you go to the lesson, you make sure that you have the objectives which are clearly stated, and you make sure that the objectives are achieved within that period. That's what we discussed.
Yeah, group 3, thank you very much for the presentation. However, I think if you look at the chat box, I don't know which theme you are looking at. Samson, are you there? Unmute, please. Which theme were you looking at?
Identify the key focus areas on curriculum, organization, and implementation.
Thank you very much.
That's the question.
Thank you. You are to look at physical infrastructure and facilities, but nevertheless, I think you have done well on curriculum. So maybe in terms of physical facilities, some of the focus areas should include, number 1, we are looking at whether the schools are doing what, are implementing the prescribed standards of infrastructure. 2, we are looking at whether you have got a good plan for your school, the site plan on how you want to use your maybe parcel of land. We are looking at the compound. Is it graded? Is the topography suitable for the students? We are looking at things like collaborations with other departments, for example, the forestry department in terms of greening the schools. We are looking at things like signposts. All those revolves around the physical facilities and infrastructure. And of course, we had looked at some of the legal provisions in terms of the infrastructure needs of the school and guidelines on the quality of facilities to put in your schools. Thank you very much, group number 3. You will need to do a revision maybe later and share your points now on the chat box so that we can see all of them here. Is that okay, Samson?
Okay, sir.
Please, very fast. We want to see your answers in the chat box. You can copy what I've mentioned, or you can do them afresh. Group number 4.
Okay.
Over to you. Group 4. Learners' welfare.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, this is group 4, we had the same problem like group 3, but in our case, we got the points that is now about the learners' welfare, the theme about the learners' welfare. So we have said, however, late, better late than never. So we have come up with the following points. 1, about the learners' welfare, physical and emotional safety of the learners. When you talk about the physical and emotional safety of the learners, you talk about ensuring as the school leaders that the school rules and the regulations are followed by all the learners to ensure that there is no anti-bullying of the learners in the school. Number 2, inclusive environment about the learners' welfare. In the school, as a school leader, we are supposed to ensure that all the learners in the school are supposed to be comfortable with the learning, ensuring the learners with the disabilities, the learners who are okay, the learning of the school progress should be comfortable to all the learners. 3, health and the nutrition. Again, as a school leader in the JS, we are supposed to ensure that we look at the food that these learners are supposed to consume in the school compound. 4, emotional and mental health support. As again, we deal with the learners who are teenagers, we are supposed to support them. When the emotions come, we guide and counsel them. Point number 5, we have student voice and urgency. When we talk about the student voice, at some point, this is about the learners' welfare. If they select their leaders, what they come up with at the office and as leaders of the JS, we are supposed to consider their voice. Number 6 is extracurricular activities. Again, the welfare of these learners are supposed to be engaged in extracurricular activities like music festivals, attending the games, and also the sports. Number 7, we have the personal development. We are supposed to build the physical of these learners, they grow fit by ensuring that we support them in personal development. The other one, number 8, is attendance and engagement. For our learners for them to remain in the school, we are supposed as leaders to ensure that the attendance of these learners, we don't have much absenteeism. Therefore, as leaders, we are supposed to ensure we engage them in activities that will promote them and also motivate them to come to school. That is what the group 4 about the learners' welfare we had. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Group Number 4. I think that is so elaborate. And you mentioned a number of the points that we have here. I think just to mention them, we have got provision of physical and emotional support, safety of learners, inclusive environment, the health of the learners, the dignity kits you have mentioned, health and nutrition, guidance and counseling, co-curricular activities, and lastly, we mentioned something on personal development. Thank you very much, Group Number 4. Finally, Group Number 5, please.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon once again.
Afternoon to you.
We had the key focus on community involvement. One, we talked about participation and collaboration in the community service learning of the learners by assisting or collaborating with the learners in activities such as cleaning up and greening the school. At the same time, also, they can be involved in extended learning activities where learners are given what we used to call homework. And nowadays, we know parents are also involved. So they should also play their role when it comes to assisting the learner at home. Also, we looked at the provision of learning resources. This one, either the ready-made material or the homemade, the locally available material providing to the learners. And also, at times, assisting the school in financing of instructors, for example, the BOM, PTA teachers. Also, the community can be involved in lobbying for funds for the school through politicians or persons of interest, and the former learners or students of the school, of the community. Also, they can ensuring that learners are back to school, or those who are out of school, they are back to school, and those who are at school are retained at the school, by ensuring through guidance and counseling on the importance of the school of education, especially those who are out of school. Also, the community can be involved in being resourceful persons, such as imam, who can be called during PPI, come and give spiritual nourishment, and not only to the learners, also at a time when we have teachers who have some social problems, and the community can come in and advise. The other point is indirect involvement in learner evaluation and feedback. This means that the school cannot achieve much when it is talking of above average, below average, when the community is not aware of it. Because we have seen this one has caused havoc. We are seeing mass dropping of learners from our school. For instance, right now, we have the grade 6 who are not showing to be candidates, because at the end of the day, they only are rewarded with so we need to involve the parents to know the grading system of the community so that such things can work out. The other thing is involvement of school management. How can the community be involved in the school management? This one, they can be involved through being fair and electing persons of dignity and integrity as BOM or PTA representatives, so that they can air their voice through them. The other thing is familiarization. The community should be very familiar with the school rules. As we know, when setting school rules are not meant to guide the learners only, or the learners are to be involved. We have the learners, the teachers, the administration, and also the community through their representatives, so that this are very well. Also, being positive to the curriculum activities, whereby now with the positivity of being gender, sometimes you find that some community are looking at some things as anti-religious. But if they are given the fact about it, then they'll have positivity. And when they have the positivity, a part of it, also the school can improve. Another thing is the safety of learners and the teachers. This is where it comes most, because most of our teachers have ran away from our school because of this. And this insecurity cannot be handled by the school and the government. It is the community itself which can be putting up policies which will adhere to the security by giving the right information at the right time. With those few remarks, although I don't know whether I went out to my point, but I think that's what we have discussed. Hello?
Thank you very much, Athmani Manyara.
Yes.
I think that was a very, very good presentation, because you are able to take us through all the focus areas. I think a good number of them, plus good examples. I think this group was able to answer part 2 of the question. Please allow me request us to give me 5 more minutes, and then we will be able to stop at exactly 3:49 there, tafadhali. So group number 5 was able to take us through all the examples. That is, every point had an example. So we appreciate so much. Please, let's go to the chat box and appreciate every member of the group that presented here, group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's appreciate them, please, in the chat box, so that we are able to note that you are with us. Now, I like the example given by group number 5. Of course, it talked about the issue of how can the school make the community get involved in its activities. He has mentioned the issue, for example, the resource persons, and he gave a very good example probably of calling an imam during what? during a PPI situation, maybe lesson. I think that is a good example, and I think all the rest you are able to give as examples. Please, thank you very much, and we hope you are implementing this in your schools, because you have been asked to do what? Provide relevant examples for the component within your schools, and they gave at least 5 examples from their end. Please, as you go back, maybe just pick one of the IBQA themes and see how you are coming up with an action plan on how you intend to do what? To implement it within your various institutions. Otherwise, you are given this ELA, extended learning activity, and I believe that all of us were able to identify the thematic area and was able to come up with the various strategies that they can put in place to ensure that it is achieved within their schools. And just in case you are facing any challenge, please reach out to Elvis so that he can still assist you in terms of uploading it at the end of unit number 6. Otherwise, I want to say that there's a question that was asked that I wanted to answer before we end. Please give me a few minutes. I answered the question. I took it somewhere here. And the question was concerning the issue of the composition of the Junior School Management Committee. A member had asked that in the committee, there needs to be a teacher's representative. So the question was that can the HOI appoint the deputy teacher to represent the teacher's interest in the JS committee? Please remember that the reason why you are bringing this teacher into this committee, that is to be able to share, articulate the issues that concerns the junior school. So any teacher can serve, yes, but it must be a teacher that is teaching within the junior school department or section within the basic education framework. So please, if the deputy is not teaching that level, please, it shouldn't be appointed to be a member there representing the teachers. But the best one, please pick any other teacher so that you can be able to get an accurate information on the status in the classrooms. Otherwise, thank you very much. That was a good question. Please ensure that the teacher representing the junior school is the member of the JS committee membership. Otherwise, without saying so much, I want to end there and say thank you, thank you, thank you. Musa, are you there? Thank you. Musa, are you there? Not there. So I asked for 5 more minutes and I've taken 4 minutes, so sorry for that.
Musa is there?
Earlier. Musa, you are there?
Hello? Yes, sir, I'm there.
Oh, when you began, you're not there. Thank you very much for being part of us.
I was there throughout.
Oh, good, thank you. One thing I've noted, Musa, is that the Garissa team has done well. From yesterday, we have had more completing from 83% to 89%. So
yes, we have whipped. We have been whipping them. We have been mobilizing and whipping them from yesterday.
Please do so. Put more pressure so that they are able to finish the course in a good time.
Yeah, of course.
Otherwise, can you give a few remarks on behalf of your class?
Closing remarks or what?
Remember,
yes,
we have a session starting at exactly 4. Are you aware of that?
Another session?
Yes, we have a session, like I said earlier, is that we had the review of Unit 6 from 2:15 to 3:45, then 15 minutes break for a health break. Then we come back at 4 to 4:30 for review and support on reflective journal and the most significant change form. And then 4:30 to 5:30, I said, we'll be having a closure that brings together all the 4 counties and will be addressed by the 4 CDEs, the CEO, Kemi, and the lead from VVOB.
Okay.
So we'll be ending today at 5:30. So please let nobody leave the meeting So we'll just
Yeah.
take a short health break, and at
Yeah.
exactly 4 p.m. we'll start the next session. Please, that is where we are.
I see. We are there.
Or you can
And
see
we'll
from
be
the
there.
screen.
Yes?
Can you see from the screen?
Yes, I can see from the screen. You have already presented.
Hello, sir. Hello,
Go
sir.
ahead.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Point of observation, sir.
Yes.
A point of observation, sir.
Go ahead.
I'm saying at 4, we are doing our prayers. Why don't we start at 4:10?
Yeah, you know,
At
you
4?
know, you know, you are always a very special team to us. So we are okay with that.
Okay, 4:10.
4:10, please. Then proceed and pray now, and then come at 4:10. We are okay with that.
Yeah.
Musa, is that
Most
fine?
applied. Most applied, because that is what I wanted also to share with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because our prayers are starting at 4, so we may be finishing at 4:15 somewhere there.
Will you pray for us?
Very well.
Wait, Manyara, let Manyara pray for us. Manyara?
No, when you go to pray, go and pray for us.
We will pray for you when we are praying for everyone.
Now we'll be praying for everyone, even in Kenya.
So Musa, make a few comments, then we end it there, and then come back at 4:10.
Okay, I just want to say we are thankful, we appreciate, and I think all our members are there. They have been working well, and we will keep in touch. Let's meet after the health break.
Zipporah, our welfare.
Zipporah, where is Zipporah?
Yes, I am here.
Zipporah, what do you have to say before we may leave for the health break?
Actually, today I've had a very long session, kwa sababu
Yes.
my internet imekuwa in and off. I'm
Okay.
using Airtel bundles, so unfortunately Airtel ilikuwa imeenda off kabisa around there too. But
Sorry.
I don't have any issue coming back.
Okay.
Mm.
I'm sure our welfare has been taken care of. Are you assuring the members?
Yeah,
Because
Mr.
VVOB is, we are told VVOB is delivering.
Yeah, they said VVOB delivers, but we all know
Yeah.
that. So the only issue that you don't know, it's the figures. But Mr. Charles will address that.
I'm sure that will be clarified.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Jacob,
Yes.
Zipporah.
Yes. Hello.
Go and pray. We are still here. Go and pray. We are waiting for your prayers.
No problem. Is our Abdinasir? Is our Abdinasir there? Spiritual leader.
Pray for
Abdinasir?
us.
Is Abdinasir in the room?
No.
Abdinasir, the prayer.
Let's go for prayers,
Yes,
Chairman. We are praying.
Okay, yes. Amanda, pray.
Khalif is there.
Okay, we will meet after the prayers.
Khalif is there.
Let's meet after the prayers, members.
Prayers. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Training is important, and especially to us school leaders, because we have to lead by example. So in CBC implementation, it is us to lead the other teachers. So we need to get the right knowledge, we need to get the right skills. Even the attitude we had before needs to be changed so that we are able now to impart the right knowledge and skills to the teachers. When we acquire this knowledge also, it will help us to know what the approaches we are going to use to ensure that now the program succeeds, because it has to succeed. So we need to assist the teachers. We also need to assist the parents, because it is us they rely on. In most cases, they tell us it is you to tell us, it is you to guide us on what we are supposed to do as parents. So we need to get the right knowledge, skills, and also change of attitude.
I feel very strongly that these trainings, for example, the one we have with you, the increase program, is making us be very innovative. It is going to address my weaknesses. Really passionate on the ICT aspect, because we have realized Kenya is on the 21st century skills, and our learners need also to have these skills.
This training is very important at this level because we are getting a lot of information that we are not sure of, and it has come at the right time because it's going to make us better, more effective leaders than we were before. And because of the new technology that's coming in, we believe we are going to get to be strong and be able to monitor the curriculum implementation well in our institutions.
I appreciate the organizers came in VOB. It's a very wonderful training. It will help me as a leader to become an efficient leader. Because from here I'll go and cascade what I have learned to my, first of all, to my teachers and also to my fellow head teachers in my zone. So to me it is a wonderful training.
People have not been out to go and take because they believe they'll be separated from family or something like that, so they are shying away from taking leadership roles.
As you see, most of the managers were advanced in age. So we are trying to catch up with the technology, and we have really tried. So when it comes to learning also, there are applications that we are going to use. There is a way we are going to navigate now to get to our modules.
The school leaders, especially some of them, they are not, or they don't have the skills in ICT, especially when we see they go out, they go to cyber cafe where most of the documents or most of the secret documents are placed in cybers, which is not good. But I think after this training, the teachers will be more equipped with skills and techniques on how to handle ICT, as most of them, they are not computer compliance.
Training is important, and especially to us school leaders, because we have to lead by example. So in CBC implementation, it is us to lead the other teachers. So we need to get the right knowledge, we need to get the right skills. Even the attitude we had before needs to be changed so that we are able now to impart the right knowledge and skills to the teachers. When we acquire this knowledge also, it will help us to know what the approaches we are going to use to ensure that now the program succeeds, because definitely it has to succeed. So we need to assist the teachers. We also need to assist the parents, because it is us they rely on. In most cases, they tell us it is you to tell us, it is you to guide us on what we are supposed to do as parents. So we need to get the right knowledge, skills, and also change of attitude.
I feel very strongly that these trainings, for example, the one we have with you, the increase program, is making us be very innovative. It is going to address my weaknesses. Very passionate on the ICT aspect, because we have realized that Kenya is on the 21st century skills, and our learners need also to have these skills.
This training is very important at this level because we are getting a lot of information that we are not sure of. And it has come at the right time because it's going to make us better, more effective leaders than we were before. And because of the new technology that's coming in, we believe we are going to get to be strong and be able to monitor the curriculum implementation well in our institutions.
I appreciate the organizers came in VUB. It's a very wonderful training. It will help me as a leader to become an efficient leader. Because from here I'll go and cascade what I have learned to my, first of all, to my teachers and also to my fellow head teachers in my zone. So to me it is a wonderful training.
People have not been out to go and take because they believe they'll be separated from family or something like that, so they are shying away from taking leadership roles.
Thank you. Thank you. Are you back? Can I see you chatting in the chat box, please, if you're back? And if you can hear me, yes, Moses Taridi, thank you for coming back. Are you back, you people? Thank you. Mutunga is back. Thank you. Jacob is back. Kungu is back. Thank you. Thank you. Who else is there? Now, I'd indicated that we have the next 20 minutes presenting on the reflective journal and the most significant story form. And thereafter, we will join for a joint closure. And of course, we'll share a new link for the joint closure later at 4:30. So allow me to welcome Elvis, who is known to you people, to take us, Noam, to take us through the most significant change story form. Welcome, Noam.
Thank you, Dr. Amanza. Good afternoon to everybody. We are almost at the end of this online session. We'll look at now two important forms that we still have to fill to successfully complete this course. So the first one we are looking at here on the screen is the most significant change story. And the second one we will look at after that is the reflective journal. So the first one here, the most significant change story, is a form that you have to fill not for your assessment of this course, but it's rather for us to learn from you on how this course has impacted your practice as a school leader. However, it is mandatory to complete it for successful completion of this course. So where can you find this most significant change form or MSC form? You can go, not right now, but after this online session, you can go to your app, your Chemi app, and in the ESL4JS course, you can go to the community hub, and there you will find the most significant change story form, which will be opened, which will be accessible right after the online session. So right now you will not yet see it, but after this online session, it will be made available. So even by the end of this day, you can fill it in. So what is this MSC form all about? It's a form of participatory monitoring and evaluation, and it looks at stories. So we want to hear from you really your story as a school leader, and we want to also learn from you on how this course has made some significant changes in your practice as a school leader. So you will be asked to answer 3 questions, and you answer in not more than 500 words at the end of the self-paced learning sessions, so after Unit 6. And those questions relate to the changes that you in your school have observed as a result from this effective school leadership for JS training. So every participant will be expected to share 1 story, and that will be then made available, and some of these stories might actually be selected for publication. So it's important that you report truthfully and authentically on your experiences with this course. Matter of fact, we will also, after selection of selection of more significant change stories, we will do some school visits to also observe the story in your school. So if you scroll a bit down, you can see the 3 questions that will be asked. The first one is, during the past 6 months, what was the most significant change that took place in your school because you took part in the Effective School Leadership for JS training program? Here you can answer in 300 words. You do not have to use bullet points to answer. Then if we scroll a bit down, Elvis, you can then see the second question. Why do you consider this change to be the most significant? That can be a short answer in 100 words. And then the third question is, how, if at all, has your participation in the Effective School Leadership for JS training program contributed to this? And that can also be answered in 100 words. So that is the most significant change story form, which will be opened upon completion of the course. So if you have completed the course, then it will be opened after this session. As I mentioned, this form will not have an impact on the assessment of this course, but the next form that I will mention does have an impact on your assessment, and that is the reflective journal. You might remember from our in-person session in June that we when we presented the assessment framework, that there was also a reflective journal, and that reflective journal will count for 20% of the total scoring of this course. So what is the idea of the reflective journal? You can also find the reflective journal in the same community hub. Is it possible to click it? Okay, all right. Thank you. You can see it here, indeed. So the reflective journal is a tool where you, as a participant of this course, reflect on your lessons learned, your journey in this course, to come to some to reflect on your learning experiences, and to demonstrate also your professional growth throughout this course. So there are two guiding questions for the reflective journal. The first one is to describe your personal learning journey, highlighting your key insights from the ESL for JS course. It's similar as what we did this morning, where we try to reflect on what we have learned and how we want to implement it in our schools. So that will definitely be important to make the link between your learning journey and also the second question, the practice of what you have learned. So the second question is, describe a practical situation where you applied the knowledge and skills acquired from the ESL for JS. So two questions, each question can be answered in 250 words. And if you remember from the assessment framework, there was a rubric on how it will be assessed. So we will look at the depth of reflection. Is it just a superficial reflection, or is it deeply insightful and highly detailed? We will also look at the connection to learning. So what you reflect, is it related to the course content? We will also look at consistency. Are the entries sporadic and inconsistent, or are they actually highly consistent and regular? And then finally, we'll look at personal growth, where we evaluate if the stories reflect any personal growth or development. So yes, okay, thank you for sharing that. This form, the second form that I presented, it does impact your final assessment of this course. So that was it from my side. Any questions or comments you would like to share, you can put them in the chat and we will answer them there. So before I hand over to our facilitator again, I also want to give a few comments on the way forward before we proceed to the closing ceremony. So for those who have not yet completed the course, you have still 2 more weeks, as you saw on the introductory slide. When you entered today's and yesterday's session, you have 2 more weeks to finalize the self-paced learning. So that's until the 15th of September. So that will then be assessed as well, your completion of the self-paced learning. We will also, after this online session, share the recordings of this session. So you will receive the link to that as well. And then finally, I wanted to mention that after the closing of the course, after the 15th, we will then have a period of assessing all the participants and do the certification. So you can expect that also as well before the end of this year. And then finally, I think our facilitator and colleague, ICT colleague Elvis, will help us to come up with a group photo of the group that has participated today. The way we will do it is by opening our cameras. So you can start your cameras, and then we will take a picture of all of us like we did in person, but through our cameras. So I will hand over back to our facilitator to guide us further for this group photo and any next steps. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Noam. He has clarified on the two issues, the MSc form and on the reflective journal. And just to emphasize is that unlike the reflective journal, the MSc story, once you upload it, you cannot edit it. So please, you can write it somewhere first, and then you put it in the platform given on the learning platform. Please ensure that you do it and edit it well. Number two, he has mentioned that we want to take a group photo. Class, we want to take what? A group photo. Say group photo in the chat box. How do we take it? Number one, please put on your videos on. All your videos on, please. All videos should be on. Videos, we want to see you. I can see Choge. Choge, you can wave. All the videos on. Thank you, Motunga group photo. Thank you, Zipporah is there. Are you on with your video, please? Meshach, put your video on. Abdi Suleiman, please, where's your video? All the videos on, please. We want to take a group photo. All the videos on. All the videos on. Let me see who is remaining. Abdi Suleiman, not yet. Abel Baraza, not yet. Hussein, we are taking group photo, please. We have got David Muyele. We have got, David Francis Mutembei. Please put your video on. I'm calling you by names. Thank you. Who else is there? There's Chalo Mutuku. Please put your video on. Mohammed Afi, please, your video on. Who else is there? Molingeri. We have got Moses Karidi. Thank you. Musa. President, where are you? You want to take your photo, please put your video on. Thank you. I can see you, people. Madin Hussein, I can see you very well. Thank you. Thank you. Some are still off with their videos. Musa Abdullahi, please. Musa. Abdi Suleiman, please. Good, thank you. Elvis is taking the photo. Please check your screens. Thank you. Muhammad Yusuf, thank you. Thank you. I can see the comments. Any other comment, Mr. Choge? Please take 30 seconds to make a comment, please, as we wind up.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. for giving me this chance again to make my comments. And Garissa team, I'm proud of your team. Remember, this is a team I told you the other time when we started that there should be no one should actually drop out of school. And I'm actually happy that we are all making the effort to complete the course. I want to wish you all the best, and please implement whatever we have learned in these sessions. God bless you, good people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Choge. Like we said earlier, we want to go for a joint closure, please. We are sharing a link at exactly 4:30. Just click on the link and join the meeting where the 4 counties have logged in. And like I said, the CDE from your county is already there. We have got the 4 CDEs in the meeting. We have got our team lead from VVOB and the CEO Kemi, and all the facilitators from Kemi are there. Please, let's just pick that link. It is also available on our WhatsApp platform. That is the Garissa team WhatsApp platform. Please just check and see if it is ready there. And at 4:30, please log in there. Let us all log in so that we can have a joint closure. Elvis, a closing remark for 30 seconds, please.
Thank you very much. I have enjoyed working with Garissa team. If you're having any challenges regarding the app, I have seen some of your questions regarding the most significant change and the reflective journal. Please note that you're not going to write on a piece of paper. There will be a place provided on the app where we shall ask you to write your reflective journal and write the most significant change. Please remember, even as we finish, that the reflective journal will be assessed, but the most significant change will not be assessed. So please take note of that. Otherwise, thank you very much. See you at the closure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elvis, for that. Noam, any word to close? And then we invite Musa to close for us as we go to the other group.
No, just very nice to see you all. It makes it more real that we are all together. I just mentioned in the chat as well, we will join our colleagues from 3 other counties. So this is also the first time we are all together in a meeting. So that's also exciting. So yeah, thank you very much for joining here today, for those who have made it. For those who haven't, we'll also share the recording as I mentioned. So yeah, see you soon in the other meeting. I think it will also be shared in the WhatsApp group. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will be shared in the WhatsApp group as well.
Thank you very much, Noam, for that comment. Musa, are you there? We have 80 seconds remaining. Musa, 20 seconds for you, for Team Garissa. The president.
Hello, I'm there.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead, please. You have 30 seconds.
Okay, may I also take this opportunity to thank God for giving us this time, for taking us all this time. Also thank VVOB, the ministry, and the facilitators for the exceptional insight into us. May I also thank the participants for being active throughout the course and their valuable contributions during the shared sessions. I can assure you that this was a productive course, and I'm confident that the knowledge and the skills that we have acquired will directly and positively impact our learners and our schools moving forward. Maybe a reminder to our participants is that I want them to stay together. Let us collaborate. Let us keep the momentum going, and let us share in case of any difficulties. For those ones who have not yet finished the units, I urge you to do so. Let us fast track and make sure we finish within 3 days, not 2 weeks. The next 3 days, let us work hard so that we finish and become either number 1 or number 2, possibly. Maybe to a request, this was a request sent to me through my inbox room by the members. We may require a more maybe training for capacity building, because this is a new skills and knowledge which is imparted to us. So the members are asking for more training and more, induction and mentorship by VVOB. This is a request to VVOB. And maybe another one is assistance. Maybe some of the schools may lack the the facilities, the infrastructure, and to enhance the ESL, the effective school leadership. So it is an humble request that we provide ICT technologies, maybe building of classrooms, etc., and more trainings. With those few many remarks, I want to thank everybody and wish you all the best as you go forward. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. I think that was powerful, Musa. We have made your request and we've taken note of that. And we want to wish us all the best, even as we go to the next session, which is now the closing ceremony. Please go to the WhatsApp group and in the chat box and just click on that link and join the other 4 counties in that meeting that has just begun.